Hello, my name is Myra, and today we're going to take a look at the manual that came with Demon Souls on PS3. This is the PAL version specifically. I don't know if there's any regional differences between the two, but I thought I'd clarify. I just started playing this game yesterday, actually. I did my first stream of it, and I really fell in love with it. It is so different from the other Souls games, so I thought, you know what? Why not finally get this little hand cam channel started and take a look at the manual of this game. I've never actually read the manual for a Souls game, so I'm not entirely sure what to expect going into it, but I have heard that this manual is apparently quite charming, that there's a lot of style to it, and yeah, I'm just excited to dive into it. Right. We don't care about any of these precautions and warnings. Here we have the table of contents, and oh my god, look at this font. Ah, it's beautiful. I feel like if game manuals were still a thing, you would definitely not see fonts like this used. If anyone knows what font this is, I would be interested to know. Okay, here we have the getting started page and the basic controls. It's instructing you on how to safely close the game and eject the disc. And of course, the very basic controls of the DualShock 3. Odd that there's no motion controls. Like I was struggling on my first stream, but don't worry about it. Alright, here we've got a hefty prologue. Long ago, the people who united the world by the power of souls awakened the Old One with their insatiable desires. The Old One brought with it a thick, colorless fog and hordes of demons. Half the world and countless souls were lost. The ancients sealed the dozing beast inside the nexus and entrusted 6 elders with 6 precious archstones. Was it archstones? Oh god, I don't even remember, and I just played this yesterday. One to the king of a small yet diligent land, one to the king of the burrowers underground, one to the wise queen of the great ivory tower, one to the chieftain of lost and ill-fortuned souls, one to the shaman of the tempest-worshipping shadowmen, and the last to the great giants of the northern lands. In the present day, the northern kingdom of Boletaria, ruled by King Alan XII, was abruptly swallowed by a strange, colorless fog. None who dared penetrate the deep fog ever returned, until Valarfax of the Twin Fangs broke free and told the world of Boletaria's plight. The old King Aland aroused the Old One, the great beast below the Nexus, from its eternal slumber, which brought the colorless fog, unleashing terrible demons that hunted men and claimed their souls. Those who lost their souls also lost their minds. The mad attacked the sane, and chaos reigned. The legend spread quickly. Mighty warriors were drawn to the accursed land, but none have returned. The colorless deep fog now slowly creeps beyond Boletaria's borders, and humankind faces a slow and steady extinction, as the deep fog will eventually swallow all lands near and far. But Boletaria has one final hope. A lone warrior has braved the baneful fog. Has the land found its savior, or have the demons found a new slave? I believe this is the intro that plays in the little demo starting screen. I had to do a bunch of retakes because I actually struggled to read this font. Here we have notes on character creation. A new character's facial structure and sex are entirely customizable. You can use the right stick during the face editing process to rotate the model of the character's whole body. After entering a name and editing the character, select OK. A maximum of 4 profiles can be created. The starting class affects the character's initial stats. Starting stats and equipment can have a dramatic effect on the game's initial difficulty. So refer to page 22 for the list of starting classes and select one that will fit your playstyle. As the game progresses, however, Any class can be developed according to the player's wishes. The starting class places no restrictions on equipment and grants no benefits to stat growth. And here are notes on how to save, load, and end your game. And it looks like the game supports an autosave feature. Wow, how futuristic. All right, here we have a page on body and soul. After a living player dies, they will return to the Nexus in soul form. In soul form, the character's body emits a faint glow, and its maximum HP will be a fraction of its full capacity. To regain your living body from soul form, you must defeat a major demon or use a stone of ephemeral eyes. A player in soul form can also enter another player's world as either a phantom or a black phantom, page 20, and complete a certain objective to return to his own world as a living body. So we have a little screenshot here that reads, "You revived." Here we have a guide to the HUD. We've got the HP gauge, the MP gauge, the stamina gauge, status conditions, the current location, the current equipment, and the number of souls on hand. And here are instructions on the inventory. I think this is about carrying capacity, and I love the little like flare around this text box to sort of separate it. I think that's very, very nice. About item burden. The player cannot pick up any items if the maximum item burden has been reached. In this case, you must either drop or deposit items to reduce your item's burden. Dropped items can be reclaimed until you leave the area. If you drop more than 30 items in an area, they will begin disappearing in the order in which they were dropped. It doesn't say anything about it slowing you down, which is interesting. Just that you can't continue to pick up more things. Oh, there's equipment burden. Okay. I think that's what I was talking about here. About equipment burdens, or rather just about equipment burden. The player's movement will be slowed if the total weight of your equipment exceeds half your maximum equipped burden. Items, arrows, bolts, and rings are not counted toward this total. If the maximum equipped burden is surpassed, it will become difficult to move around. So equipped burden and carrying capacity are separate. That's good to know. Here on the right, we have an overview of weapon attributes, including a legend for all the different I guess effects and elements in the game. I do kind of wish that this was printed in color. I would have loved to see it, but I also like this the feel of seeing it in black and white, you know? I think it adds a certain mood to it. Here we have armor attributes. Equip conditions like gender restrictions, defense ratings, ailment resistances, and durability. Yes, durability. I was very surprised to see that, but it's not really been a problem in my first stream of it, so that's a relief. Here is a legend for the status screen icons with a little note at the bottom that says, all stats also affect your physical defense. Very interesting. Over here on the right, we have the world tendency, quote-unquote, explained. This is the mechanic that chat couldn't decide on whether or not it was very important or not important at all. But let's read what the manual has to say. The soul tendency of each area and the player can be seen here. Actions like dying and defeating certain enemies causes the world tendency to shift between white, gray, and black, affecting enemy strength and the player's stats in soul form. New enemies and passages may also appear at certain world tendencies. New passages is very interesting. I had someone mention that the tendency mechanic is only really important if you're going for something like 100% completion. And I thought it only affected enemies, but the fact that like whole different areas potentially could open up is quite interesting and definitely adds perhaps some replay value or just, you know, wanting to challenge yourself by making everything super difficult, I suppose. You know, Souls players are sadistic like that, so I'm not surprised. At the bottom, we have a little overview of the options. And it's pretty basic stuff, but I thought it was quite interesting that there is a show blood option here. Turn on for the blood to be displayed red. Turn off for no blood to be displayed. And set to mild for the blood to be displayed green. I thought that was very interesting. Obviously, I've heard of some games censoring blood with green. I believe that was the case in Ocarina of Time as well, and in some regions. But for a Souls game, it's also PG-16. So I'm very surprised that this is an option. I guess maybe it is an accessibility feature. But I thought that was interesting to mention because I wouldn't have expected a Souls game to allow you to customize blood effects. So yeah. All right, here we have actions. Moving/climbing over. Lightly push the left stick to walk or heavily to run. When running into an object or barrier, if there's a small height difference, hold the left stick to climb over it. Some barriers cannot be climbed over. Again, a lesson I learned very painfully in my first stream of the game when I suddenly vaulted over a little wall and it scared the crap out of me. I thought I was dead. But it all kind of worked out in the end, so it's not too bad. Okay, here we have the sprint and the sprinting attack. Hold down the circle button while running to sprint, which consumes stamina. Press the R1 button while sprinting to do a sprinting attack. Here we have the rolling/rolling attack. Use the circle button plus the left stick to roll, which can dodge enemy attacks. Press the R1 button while rolling to perform a rolling attack. A rolling attack? I did not try this. I'll try to remember to give this a go next time I stream the game. I can't imagine it is going to be a powerful means of attack, but perhaps against lower level enemies? I don't know. It could be interesting if there was a mechanic that makes this attack stronger, maybe the more you carry, you know, like the heavier your quote-unquote burden is, right? That could be interesting. Backstab. Sorry, backstep, not stab. Press the circle button while stationary to step back and dodge enemy attacks. Press the R1 button afterwards to perform a sprinting attack. Huh. Also didn't know about this. Interesting. It's kind of cool to see these explained because if I remember correctly, the in-game tutorial with the little messages on the floor didn't mention these rolling attacks and this sprinting attack combo out of the backstep. So cool. And here we have switching between equipment, spells, miracles, and items. The directional buttons correspond to right and left-hand equipment, spells, miracles, and items. Pressing one of the directional buttons will switch what's currently equipped in the corresponding slot. And we also have some screenshots featuring the various attacks. Let me see if I can get the camera to focus. As you can see, it's all very dark and printed in black and white. I can see it a bit better in person, but it's gonna be hard to capture on camera. But it is quite charming. They are just screenshots of the game. There's nothing fancy. But yeah, I figured I'd mention it and maybe try to show it off. And here on the right, we have the left-hand weapon actions. With a small shield, press the L1 button to guard. If the L2 button is pressed, at the exact moment the enemy's attack is about to hit, you will parry. Some attacks cannot be parried. Pressing the R1 button after parrying will execute a critical attack. A critical attack. With a large weapon or shield, press the L1 button to guard enemy attacks. Press the L2 button to attack. With a small weapon, press the L1 button to attack. If the L2 button is pressed at the exact moment the enemy's attack is about to hit, you will parry. Some attacks cannot be parried. Pressing the R1 button after parrying will execute a critical attack. So I would assume this is like your daggers, right? Your parry daggers and stuff. You have the right hand weapon actions. Shoving attack. Press the R1 button while tapping forward on the left stick to shove the enemy away and break their guard. Rapiers and curved swords will do a special evasive attack instead. Critical attack. Attacking from behind or immediately after parrying will deal more damage than a regular attack. Some enemies are immune to being critically attacked. I would assume, a lot of bosses likely are, right? And here we have precision shooting at the bottom. You must aim the bow to perform precision shots. These cannot be done with a crossbow. Press the L1 button with a readied bow to switch to precision shooting. Press the up and down buttons to zoom in and out. To exit the precision shooting mode, press the L1 button. Very interested in hearing about whether or not bows and what have you are a viable option in Demon Souls. I personally have not really seen much of that myself. Alright, and here we have the status effects, which I was quite interested in, because the only thing I knew about this game going into it is that one of the status effects is a little cat icon, and I thought it was so cute, and I can already see it right here. And it is the icon for fall damage is decreased. Oh my god, it is so cute. Let me see if I can get it on camera. There it is! It's kind of hard to see, but it's a little cat. It's so cute. If anyone knows where I can get myself a fall damage decreased buff, please tell me. I want to see the cat. Alright, we've got some info on the Nexus, starting with those who have fled the demons. Only a few remain in Boletaria that are still in possession of their souls. By speaking to them, you may learn things, hear their requests, or agree to trade souls in exchange for services. Like, for example, upgrading weapons. To upgrade your weapons, bring ores and souls to the blacksmith Baldwin. Oh my god, I thought his name was Baldwin. I think chat gaslit me. It says Baldwin here, not Baldwin. And select upgrade weapon. After selecting a weapon to upgrade, the resulting weapon, required materials, and required number of souls will be displayed. Select OK to proceed with the upgrade. If a weapon with a completely different name is displayed after selecting a weapon to upgrade, that weapon can be forged into a new one. Oh, that's exciting. I wonder if you have like different weapon paths or something, like in Monster Hunter. That could be cool. There may be another blacksmith who can perform upgrades that Baldwin cannot, including those involving demons' souls. Should you meet him in the field somewhere, don't neglect to talk to him. Oh, hint hint, nudge nudge. Repairing equipment. Blacksmiths can also repair equipment. After selecting Repair Equipment, select a piece of equipment to repair. A piece of equipment's performance will decrease if its durability falls below 30%, so it would be wise to repair them frequently. Aha! 30%. I was wondering about this. If durability meant weapons will decay and break, but it seems like the performance just decreases, which is good to know. But I assume it's enough of a decrease where you probably want to make sure it doesn't happen. Continuing on with the Nexus, we have depositing and taking items. Stockpile Thomas will keep items for you. Whether you choose to deposit an item or take one, you may select an item from the resulting list. Buying items. The blacksmith Baldwin will sell you items, as will some characters you meet in the field. Talk to a vendor and select Buy Item to see their stock, and then press the left and right directional buttons to toggle between the item types. Select the item you wish to buy, and then select how many you wish to purchase. Items cannot be sold. That is also different, I think? I know you could at least sell the, pop this item for souls items in Dark Souls 3, just to, presumably speed things up. Yeah, you can't do that at all here. Interesting. And over here we have acquiring spells and miracles. This is presumably the spell casting of this game. As you progress through the game, you can learn spells and miracles. You need at least 10 magic and intelligence points to learn spells, and 10 faith points to learn miracles. Spells can be learned from Freak's Apprentice. Freaks? It says Freke, but I feel like Freak is probably not their name. Maybe Freckes? I'm sorry, I don't know yet. And miracles can be learned from the Disciple of God, among others. A teacher's menu of spells and miracles indicates how many souls each one costs. Some spells or miracles may require our particular demon's soul. And here we have remembering spells and miracles. Spells and miracles must be remembered in order to be used. You can only remember a limited amount of spells and miracles determined by certain stats. To remember a spell or miracle you have previously learned, talk to someone who teaches magic and select Remember Spell/Miracle. I assume this is like your, what spells you're able to, like, switch between on the go. Although it would be extremely funny if you could have them all active and you might have to, like, menu in between a fight to equip the ones you might need. I always find it very impressive when people can play these games and menu at the same time. That is so beyond me. Alright, in the field. Objects. When your character approaches an object that can be manipulated, a message will appear describing an action which you can perform with the X button. Some places can only be accessed during certain world tendencies, so keep experimenting. So I assume this is your examine body, pick up item thing. Would have been really nice. One piece of feedback. Can we have this for vaulting over walls, please? Can we put that on a separate button? So I don't get a heart attack. I would really appreciate it. Alright, here we have battles. You cannot defeat enemies simply by swinging your weapon. You must consider the enemy's equipment, attack patterns, and your surroundings. If you find yourself surrounded and stumped, try changing your weapons and battle tactics. Remember to keep the menu closed during combat, as you cannot attack or otherwise act while it is open. Surroundings. When in narrow corridors, attack with small or thrusting weapons so that your attack does not hit the walls. Number of enemies. Against multiple enemies, it may be wise to use a weapon with a wide attack arc, or to lure them in one at a time with spells and arrows. Enemies' equipment. Heavily equipped foes move slowly, so if your equipment is light, you can easily flank them. Two-handing your weapon also makes it easy to break an enemy's guard. This will be on the test. This will be in the practical exam next stream, I suppose. And here we have the online play, which I will not be able to use as I am playing on PlayStation 3, and the official servers, at least, are not available anymore. But let's learn about it anyway. Because we can't do it, I think it might be interesting to learn about how it works. In online play, the actions of every player on the server affect the world tendency. The following features of Demon Souls are also available online. Oh god, so you can have people grief your world tendency? I mean, I assume it probably takes more than a handful of deaths to shift anything, But very interesting. Or maybe it's like a shared world tendency across all the saves that are connected online. Either way, interesting. Interesting. Wandering apparitions. You'll be able to see apparitions of other players on the same field. By paying attention to their actions, you may gain clues to the location of hidden passages or items. Other players' bloodstains. Touch bloodstains you find to view the actions of another player just before their death. The frequency of bloodstains and actions in replays act as a warning of strong enemies or traps ahead. Hint messages. Other players may leave hints on the ground for you to read. After reading one, press the select button to recommend the message. Recommending another player's message will fully recover their HP. You may also leave your own hints by pressing the select button to bring up the right message menu, and then filling in the blanks as appropriate. I remember whenever Elden Ring came out and everyone was making messages that said Fort of Night, and the Japanese player base was extremely confused. Apparently, a large group of the player base thought there was the secret castle that only appears at night or something. So that's really silly. I am a bit sad that I'm missing out on the experience of bloodstains and hint messages. But I don't know, perhaps we can take a look at it for Dark Souls 1. I'm just always a bit like wary about like being invaded and stuff like that. I have no interest in that at all. So I don't know, but we'll see. It might be interesting. Oh, and of course, for detailed information on Demon's Souls' online play, visit www. Oh my god, visit www.demons-souls.com. Do you think that website is still up? Alright, here we have more info on online play. Multiplayer. One way to regain your living form is the multiplayer mode. By becoming a phantom or black phantom while in soul form, you can enter another player's world. The objective differs depending on what form of multiplayer you choose. Become a phantom to help another player defeat a demon, or become a black phantom and invade another player's world to hunt and kill him. Either way, once the objective has been completed, you will be resurrected in your world. Interesting. Okay. So you have a bit of an incentive to go into the multiplayer for those repeated revives, and in turn you can then use that to manipulate your world's tendency. So really nice. I actually quite like that. Here we have cooperative play. To enter cooperative play, a living player must be in a field where a major demon remains to be defeated. If a player in soul form on the same field has used a blue eye stone and has a similar soul level, the living player will be able to see the resulting soul sign. Touching it will allow the living player to summon the other player as a phantom and work together to defeat the demon. If the living player or the phantom uses a white eye stone, the phantom will return to his own world. Up to 2 phantoms may be summoned at once. If the living player and phantom successfully defeat the major demon, then the phantom will be resurrected in his own world. If the phantom dies, he will be sent back to his world with no penalty. After cooperative play ends, all players involved will be able to rate each other regardless of how play ended. 2 phantoms? Okay, so you could have 2 people helping you out, or I suppose 2 people hunting you down. God, and all this on the PS3? It's kind of crazy, isn't it? I mean, I know the game isn't that old. It came out in 2009, but it's kind of cool to see sort of the origins of this approach to their multiplayer, I suppose, and when it started. And of course, here we have invading other worlds. If a player in soul form uses a black eye stone, the game will search for a player's world for him to invade, after which the player will automatically become a black phantom and invade that world. Another player's world can only be invaded if he is living. Players in soul form cannot be invaded. The black phantom's objective is to hunt and kill the living player, whilst the living player can summon up to 2 phantoms to assist him in fending off the Black Phantom. Oh, I see. So 2 helpful phantoms and 1 phantom that invades you. That's very funny. The idea of having 2 bodyguards follow you around. If the Black Phantom succeeds, he will be resurrected in his own world. However, if he dies from the environment during the invasion or voluntarily returns to his own world with a white eye stone, his soul level will decrease by 1. Players invaded by a Black Phantom can rid themselves of the invader by using the Banish Merkle, entering an area with a major demon, or defeating the Black Phantom in combat. If a Black Phantom is killed by the player he invaded, he will be sent back to his world with no other consequences. Ah, I see. So only if you chicken out, you get penalized. And here we have challenge play. Using a red eye stone, players can be summoned into another player's world to duel them for souls. Red eye stones work much like blue eye stones, except they create a red soul sign in living players' worlds, which will summon the player who created the red soul sign as a Black Phantom. Players can use the red eye stone while living, but upon being summoned, they will change into soul form. Once summoned, the 2 players can fight it out. The defeated player will lose a soul level, while the winning player will earn the souls that were traded to reach that soul level. Oh, cool. I wonder if this was the start of a lot of the traditions that would carry on through Souls Jewel multiplayer, and how those were first communicated. I would be very interested to know. I guess giving that healing was more scarce in this via the herbs. Maybe that was the reason why people didn't heal in duels. Ah, no, this is just a beauty of a page. Look at this. You have all the 3D models of the different starting classes. That's very charming. Okay, let's make our way through them, shall we? We have Soldier, a low-class soldier that always stands at the front line of battlegrounds. This is the standard soldier type with especially high vitality and hard armor. Besides a straight sword, they are equipped with a spear, thus broadening their battle style. Knight, a knight class of a rather advanced area of southern Boletaria. This is a character that is equipped with hard metal armor and shield, and thus excels in defense, but because they have low luck, it will be difficult to obtain items. Low luck! Oh my god, I started as the knight! Uh-oh. I think I've been doing okay, though. I mean, to some extent. Alright, Hunter. A specialist at outdoor activities, their specialty is making long-range sniping attacks with a longbow. They're also equipped with leather armor and a battle axe, so they are well-balanced overall. Priest. A soldier of the cloth that believes in the god of this world. This is a tough character that is equipped with chainmail and shield. They can heal themselves with miracles, but their lack of dexterity makes them poor at handling advanced weapons. Magician? Was he gonna pull like a rabbit out of his hat? A commoner that officially learned spells. Wow. They have already learned 2 spells called Flame Toss and Water Veil. Since their weapon is small and they lack in defense, they don't do too well with hand-to-hand combat. Wanderer. A lightly equipped soldier that continues an aimless journey. They have especially high dexterity and are skilled at using a curved sword. They also have high luck, but because their initial equipment is shabby, they are weak to attacks. Barbarian. Ah, here we go. Look at that. Look at that. Just completely naked with a club. A person from a primitive civilization. Out of all of the classes, they have the highest soul level, vitality, endurance, and strength. But their initial equipment is the worst. They have no armor, and their only weapon is a club. Thief. They are hired by royalty and engage in dirty jobs. This character is good at sneaky tactics such as surprise attacks, ambushes, and critical attacks after parrying. They have very good luck. Temple Knight. A special knight that protects the Temple of God. They are heavily clad soldiers wearing white armor with the name of the now lost First Temple, and mow down enemies with a halberd. They can heal themselves with miracles as well. So I suppose this is your paladin, if you will. And last, but certainly, well, or perhaps not least, we have royalty. A person of royal descent who has officially learned spells. They use the spell Soul Arrow. Their soul level is the worst and begins at 1, but they are the only class that begins equipped with a rare ring. Ah, truly the nepotism class. Lowest stats, but starts with a rare ring. And I guess that's it. So yeah, that was the Demon Souls manual. We didn't go over quite everything, but I hope this gave you a glance at some of the basics. Really loved the style of this. I wish the screenshots weren't so dark and they picked up better at the camera, but I'm hoping that I can figure out a better way of capturing those in the future. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know what you think of this format of content. And thank you for your time. Yippee! Big thank you also to my patrons, Kita, Metro, Malo, Shutton, Ultra, Juan, Tikel, Zierskies, Kerbelos, Kick Hunter, Fujisona, Isaac, Tangents, Yarn, Amari, Sock, Sinkero, Filthification, and Estra. Thank you so much. This video actually went live on my Patreon a little early to gather feedback. So thank you to everyone who watched over there and gave me their thoughts. Okay, bye for real this time. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.